Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new Sunday market breakdown. So let's start on the DXY on the daily chart. What can we see on the DXY? So we can see on the DXY clear impulses and corrections. So what I can see is clear impulse, correction, impulse, correction, or we had here also a range. We were ranging between these highs here and these lows. We made that false break to take the retail traders out of the market. And then we went with an impulsive move to the upside. And now there are coming some sellers in. So after an impulse, we can expect a correction. So what I expect is we have still this bullish M, the first leg, second leg, third leg, potential fourth leg coming correctively back, grabbing some new liquidity from this weekly buying zone here, this weekly buying zone. As you can see, buyers here, buyers, resistance, buyers, potential buyers again. So the thing is, what I can see here is if I take my fib from this high to this low, you can see the minus 68 is aligning with our first point of structure. So this fib completion is aligning there. So I will take the round number to the upside will be around this daily potential fib completion because we tap the fib levels here. So, and if I take my fib from this low to this high, you can see it's between the fib levels aligning with the 61.80 here. So this can be then the impulse, then the A, B, C correction here, fib completion potential going to the upside. Or if it doesn't hold this zone, I think we can grab some new liquidity from this weekly buying zone, and then we can go back to the upside. So if I go now to the weekly, what can you see on the weekly chart? So for me, there is no criteria for long because if I go to the weekly, you can see this is a clear impulse, correction, potential impulse, okay? But the trend is not confirmed switch for me yet because we're making here a high, here a low, a high, a low, a new high. But when we are confirmly switched is when we are making this high, low, new high. Then we have a confirmed bullish M, so then we are in an uptrend to potentially go and make a new high. So for me, the trend is still bearish. And if I look at the momentum, what is the momentum telling me? We have here an impulse. This is a correction. Impulse. This is a correction. So when I look at this third leg was formed in 3 weeks and it grabbed some liquidity from this shoulder one, head, shoulder two. Then the fourth leg going back for 6 weeks already grabbed that new action from these weekly highs. So it grabbed new liquidity. And then we had a massive candle close to the downside. It's for me a really bearish candle that the bears are now present. So for me, it's indicating me the bulls are slowing down and the bears are coming in. So I expect a pullback for sure till this zone, daily zone, or this weekly potential new liquidity zone where the buyers are kicking in. As you can see, this was clear resistance, support, support, resistance, support. So it's having some difficulties here in the recent history. So if I go a time frame higher on the monthly, what can I see also? The monthly is also still bullish. So we have this low here and this high. So everything between this low and this high is just a correction for potentially going to the upside. But the only thing now is, if you look on the line chart, this can be potentially your shoulder one here, your head, shoulder two, when you can go back to the downside in the short term. So if I put my horizontal line here, this was clear resistance. So if I look back in history, you can see this was clear support, 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 weak resistance, and here also resistance, nice move to the downside, support here. So it's a clear monthly supply and demand. So this can trigger some sellers, as you can see. So if I go back to the daily, so this can be your impulse correction. So we expect more downside momentum. The only thing is on the 4 hour, that we are still bullish. We need to break first this previous higher low. As you can see, this was clearly an impulse, and this is still your correction. So we can go back to the upside. And this move, so we hold it here one time, second time, third time. The thing is, why aren't we tapping these daily highs yet? Because we have one tap of this 4 hour low, the second tap, we had an impulse, but it didn't tap the daily highs. And now we have it third time, and it didn't tap the daily highs. So there is a potential move to the downside for me because it was three times touching this 4 hour buying zone, this higher low, and it didn't go to the daily high. So for me, that is a possibility that we can go and break out of that to tap this new liquidity zone for going then potentially to the upside. That's a possibility. So we need to first break this previous 4 hour higher low, and then we can see a more downside momentum move with new lower lows and lower highs. So yeah. So then the first trade I'm looking at is Eurjpy on the daily chart. So what can we see on the daily chart? We have here a clear bullish M within an inversion and shoulders. So we have our first leg, second leg, third leg. For me, this is one leg. This is just a false break, one high. So one, two, three, four coming correctively back. And then potentially a fifth leg is already forming. But what we can see is a nice shoulder one here, head, shoulder two within that um, bullish M, first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, going back to this shoulder one. So this is a nice trade, and you can see also clearly impulse. This is a clear correction. And also here, if you look smaller, impulse, correction, impulse, potential correction, going back in 1, 2, 3 days. And you can take your limit because it's for me a small pattern. And if I go now to the weekly chart, what can you see on the weekly chart? You can see we have a 4 out of 4. For me, the trend is still bullish because we had here your low, high, low. We didn't broke here this weeks from that low, and this was a new high then. So for me, there is still a bullish M in play. And as you can see, so the trend is for us. Candle close. This one is for us this week. And the fib from this low till this high is still in play. And then the supply and demand. So here, this resistance that can or was holding as support is for me the supply and demand. So that is holding our price up for the moment. So we have 4 out of 4. The daily was clear. We have a pattern within a pattern. And on the 4 hour, you can see the 4 hour is bullish. So that's also an advantage for us. We have also here, we had here at low, high, low. Then we have here the high. Potentially you can see this as one leg, potentially because the wick came all the way till the high. So normally I would say if we have now closed like this, then we can potentially go bearish because this can be our shoulder one, head, shoulder two. So for some people, this could be one leg. For me, it would be the other way. Then we are still going to the downside back again. So this is a potentially trade. Then Cadjpy, this is also a pattern within a pattern, a small one. So we have here first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg within that shoulder one, head, shoulder two. Within that you have also here a smaller bullish M, first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, aligning with the shoulder one, head, shoulder two. Nice buying zone, nice support wicks here. And you have also here that ascending trend line holding the price up. So that's nice to see. We have already a retrace candle, so there is a potential that we now can have that pull back to the shoulder one zone. So you can take your limit actually. Um, the only thing was the RR is not that good, 2.65% for me. That's actually not enough. So what I want to see is a deceleration or pattern first. So actually, the limit is not placed here for me. We need a pattern first. So on the weekly, what can we see? A 4 out of 4, we have still a bullish M that is in place. So the first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, going back to the same lows. It was here triggered to go to the upside. So we have still our trend candle close. This one is a bullish candle close. Then the fib from this low till this high is still in play. So we have here the 3 out of 4. And then the supply and demand, so acting here as resistance, resistance, support. So we have 4 out of 4 to go for that long. So yes, so the daily was clear. Then the 4 hour, what can we see already on the 4 hour? We can see a potential shoulder one, head shoulder two, so a shift in momentum. You can see this was clearly impulse, correction, impulse. This is a more aggressive impulse against these three candles here. So for me, there can be a shift happening because the sellers are kicking in to potentially make that head and shoulders, and then we can make new lower lows and lower highs. So yes, so good. I will delete that. So then I will go to the next pair, Nzdcad. So this is also the same currency pair, so be careful for that. I have also two GPY pairs. So be careful for that, which one you choose. So on the daily NZD what can we see? We can see we have here a potential shoulder one, head, shoulder two. Within that, a bullish M, first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg. For me, I can see the clear impulses coming in. Yet here, impulse, correction, impulse, potential correction till that shoulder one zone. And you can see on that shoulder one zone, buying orders are sitting here. Buyers, 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 buyers. Every time we tapped it, so we had a move, we came back, and then we had an impulsive move again. So we had here also, we broke above it with a support wick, impulsive move, then back coming to that shoulder one, impulsive move. So it's a well-respected zone. And if I go to the weekly, on the weekly, you can see we are breaking out of this channel, descending channel here. We are breaking out of that. As you can see, we broke out of that. So what we expect, the beginning of correction to be tapped. But this can be a really long waiting. So actually, this can be taking maybe months or a half year, year to tap this. So what we can see on the market was here that impulse. This was your whole correction, this one, and we broke out of it. We broke out of it, so we are bullish. As we can see, we had also here a low, a high, a low, a new high. So we have here that bullish M that is in play. So the trend for me is bullish. The candle close, this one, is going really impulsively to the upside and will close like this. So this is already 2 out of 4. So then the fib from this low here till this high, we tap the 61.80, so we have 3 out of 4. And then the supply and demand zone here, this resistance is for me here support because this is for me a false break that took the retail traders out that they thought, okay, we can go for the short, but then they had that impulsive candle to the upside. So for me, this is our supply and demand zone, and it is aligning with our daily shoulder one zone where the liquidity can be found to go to the upside. We can also see a fib completion working for us from this high here to this low. Minus 60.80 was completed. And you can see also a really nice ABC correction or waveform impulse A, B, C, fib completion, then here impulse the upside. That's really clear. So the daily was clear. We had a pattern for me. It's a small pattern, so you can take your limit actually. And on the 4 hour, what can you see? The 4 hour is going to the upside with higher highs and higher lows. You're making here high, low, new high, um, low, high. So we are still bullish on the 4 hour going to the upside. So we will wait when we get the tap of the shoulder one zone where the liquidity is at. So then the last one, Nzdcf. So for me, it's a clear zone on Nzdcf. So what can we see? We had here a descending channel going correctively to the downside with a trend because the trend was bearish. As you can see, this was your bearish W here, making here lower lows, lower highs. And we broke out of that because we grabbed here some liquidity and we had a FIB completion here. So the bulls were present. And then we had that impulsive move, correction, impulse. So I expect again a correction to this IC where the liquidity is at because it works like a magnet. As you can see, when I put at my horizontal, my FIB here, you can see I drew in my daily zone of interest and I saw we had here clear resistance, resistance, support, support, resistance, resistance here. Also some IC sitting here. So there is some liquidity in this zone to be grabbed. So very nice to see. So for me, it's a bullish M. We expect a correction till this IC where we can take a potential deceleration, FIB completion, like that. So if I go to the weekly, what can you see on the weekly? Why I have a 3 out of 4? On the weekly, I have here this. The trend is still bearish, okay? So the trend is still bearish because you have here your high, your new low. We had a new break, but this is still your bearish W, and we had just one small break. So this is for me an indication that we can go and make this bullish M, but we need to first make that bullish M. So how can we then look at the market? Is the momentum. We had here an impulse. We had here also again an impulse, correction. Here, impulse, same highs, correction. So this is one whole correction. So what is this telling me? Okay, the price is in a correction, so the bulls are going to kick in one time. At some point, the bulls are kicking in. So if I took my fib from this high till this low, you can see the minus 27 was tapped here, aligning with this buying zone. So this can be your head then, and this can be your small shoulder one, head, shoulder two. It's not the obvious one, but you can see it like that. Can be this your shoulder one, potential head, shoulder two, impulse to the upside, fib completion aligning, bulls were present here. And you can see also this was a small supply and demand zone here on that weekly. You can see it was holding as resistance when we were below, when we were above as support, when we were below as resistance, and now we are acting as support. So it's a small supply and demand zone. That's why we are going to the upside. So I will delete this one and also this one. So we had that impulse to the upside. So for me, the trend was bearish candle close. This impulsive candle close to the upside is bullish. The fib is for us. The fib completion from this high till this low is here sitting for us. And the supply and demand zone, this buying zone triggered these bulls is for us. So 3 out of 4. And you can see that clear correction impulse. And now we can receive a small correction candle and back an impulse. So then the daily here was clear. We have that bullish and we expect the price to come back. And on the 4 hour, what can we see? A potential FIB completion if we make here kind of bearish W aligning here where we can grab some liquidity. And then that 4 hour here is still bullish. This higher low is sitting in the way. So we can have a nice week and a rejection of it. And then we can go to the upside back again. That's what I see for a moment. So yeah. So this was my SMB for this upcoming week. I hope you liked it and see you next week. Bye, guys.